The next few days passed quietly. YN was now allowed to walk inside the mansion, always with JK or her parents, and the impenetrable wall of security around her gave her a strange comfort. She had learned to see JK's protective love even within his cruelty. One evening after dinner, they were in the master suite. YN was standing by the mirror in her bathrobe, looking at the heavy, magnificent diamond ring on her finger. The ring was so large it felt like a physical weight on her hand, just like the weight of ownership under JK's name. YN gathered her courage and asked JK, who was sitting on the bed reviewing a file. "This ring," YN said softly, slipping it off her finger. The ring was enormous, the diamond a massive, flawless stone that shone with exceptional brilliance. Why is it so special? I've never seen anything like it." JK closed the file and fixed his gaze on YN. He knew why she hadn't asked the question before, out of fear. "It is special, YN," JK said in a calm, deep voice. "It is not just a diamond. It is the Jeon family's ancestral stone." YN was stunned. The ancestral stone, meaning it has been passed down through generations. "Yes," JK confirmed. "The stone is hundreds of years old. It has always belonged to the wife of the head of the Jeon family. It is not just a symbol of marriage. It is a symbol to display ownership over the woman who holds the Jeon name." YN looked at the ring in her palm, its weight feeling even heavier now. "So, you put it on me just to display ownership?" "Initially, yes," JK said directly, without remorse. "It was to show the world that you were mine, that you could not belong to anyone else. It was to remind you that you were a vital part of my empire." YN's heart sank. Ownership, that was the word that had always defined their relationship. JK stood up and walked to YN. He gently took the ring from her hand, admired its sparkle, and then slowly slid it back onto YN's finger. "But now," JK said, looking into her eyes, his voice holding an unusual intensity. "Now that has changed. You are mine now, YN," he continued. "You are the mother of my heir. This stone must remain on your hand. Not because I want to show ownership," he deliberately emphasized, "but because you are truly part of this family now. And I never want to take it back." JK's perspective was another shocking moment for YN. It was the first time he had prioritized family over ownership. The weight of the stone now felt less like a burden, and more like a strange acceptance. After a brief silence, YN changed the subject. She didn't want the atmosphere to become tense again. If it's a son?" YN asked. "Have you thought of a name?" JK smiled at the question. This wasn't a question from a boss or a captive. It was from a mother. "Yes," JK said. "By tradition, I will choose the name. If it's a son, his name will be Jeon Hanul. Hanul means sky. He will take our empire to the heavens." "Jeon Hanul," YN repeated softly, tasting the name. "It is a strong name." "And if it's a daughter?" YN asked. JK didn't reply immediately. He had always expected a son, the heir, the successor to the empire. "If it's a daughter," JK said slowly, "if it's a daughter, you will choose the name." YN was surprised. This was the biggest concession JK had ever given her, giving her the right to name the future of his empire. "Me?" YN questioned. "Yes," JK affirmed. You. You will give birth to a girl who will be stronger than any son. The name will be yours. Because then she will be the heir not just of Jeon, but of you too." YN took a deep breath of relief. "All right, then I would like to name her Jeon Mirai. It means future." "Jeon Mirai," JK repeated the name, a deep, calm smile settling on his face. YN now felt a little more comfortable. Perhaps for the first time, she was talking about the future beyond the cruel reality. As soon as YN used the word we, JK became instantly alert. We. It wasn't just a word. It was the first time YN had referred to herself and JK as a single unit, in the context of their child's future. It was the first time she had spoken of partnership rather than her unhappiness or defiance. She had moved from I and you to we. JK knew he had broken YN's resistance. He had achieved this cooperation through cruelty, threats, and the abduction of her parents. But now that she was saying we about the future, it meant she had finally accepted the truth that her future was with JK, and in this mansion. JK extended his hand and gently caressed YN's cheek. YN, JK said, his voice holding a strange, almost triumphant emotion. It is we. Yes, we will give them this mansion. It will be their world. But yes, we will also show them the world. When our child arrives, we will decide together how our family will live. That night, JK knew that he had not only gained the cooperation of his child's mother, but through the protective layer hidden behind his cruelty, he had slowly started to win YN's heart as well. She was no longer his prisoner, but the queen of his empire. A queen who had finally accepted her future with her husband and for her children. JK smiled. The stone of ownership had now become a new foundation of love and partnership. It was the middle of the night. A deep silence permeated the mansion. YN was in a deep sleep. Suddenly her eyes fluttered open. She felt the distinct sensation of being watched. She shifted and saw JK sitting in a chair beside the bed. Only the soft moonlight illuminated the room, casting half of JK's face in shadow, and the other half in a mysterious light. JK was silently, motionlessly, staring at her while she slept. His eyes were neither filled with lust nor with authority. They held a strange peace and sadness. He looked like he was guarding a crucial part of his life that he now desperately did not want to lose. YN, who would normally be terrified to find JK in her room late at night, was not scared today. Perhaps it was because she had recently witnessed his vulnerable emotions, the tears at the hospital, and the ruthless way he had eliminated a deadly rival for her and her parents. She noticed that JK had made no attempt to wake her. He was simply watching. YN slowly got up and sat on the edge of the bed. JK saw that she was awake but did not move from his position. They watched each other in silence for a few moments. YN slowly stepped off the bed and walked towards JK. She was trusting him, an emotion she hadn't felt in months. She reached him, and without a word, sat down on the floor near JK's knees. "You are awake," YN whispered in a hushed voice. "Yes," JK replied, his voice softer than usual. Yen looked into his eyes. She felt no need to hide anymore. "I don't hate you, JK," YN said slowly, her heart pounding. It was the first time she'd articulated her true feelings to him. JK didn't react. No surprise, no triumph. Just a deep, tired stillness. "I don't hate you," YN repeated, her voice now filled with tears. "But I don't know what I should feel. Because of everything you did to me, I am afraid. I am angry. But I no longer think you are a bad person. You protect me and our child in a way no one else could." She took hold of JK's hand, which was resting on the arm of the chair. "You saved my father. You destroyed Mr. Park for me. You cried for my child. I can't hate you." JK did not withdraw his hand. He slowly leaned down, his eyes locked on YN's. "Wien," JK whispered with a tremor in his voice. I know I made mistakes in the beginning." This was the apology. JK, the arrogant, powerful boss who never bowed to anyone, was asking forgiveness for his crimes. "I never apologized to you," JK said, his voice now emotionally strained. "I didn't know how to love. I only saw you as property that I had to acquire. I scared you. I hurt you. I am truly sorry for that." He reached out his other hand and gently touched YN's face. "No more. I won't hurt you. I won't scare you. I won't keep you in a cage, even if it is gold." JK continued. "You are no longer a prisoner. You are my wife. You are the mother of my child. I am giving you permission to leave the mansion. YN's eyes widened. Outside, the city. Yes, you can do what you want. You can go shopping, meet your old friends, go wherever you wish. But JK gently lifted YN and settled her onto his lap. His grip was now protective, not possessive. But it will always be with security. My security detail will be with you. They will be discreet, but they will always be there. They will be providing security, not confinement. You are free, YN, but you are mine, and your safety is my utmost responsibility. Looking into JK's eyes, YN felt for the first time that her ruthless protector had given her a new, complex kind of love. A love that offered freedom, but never withdrew. Protection. She had stepped out of fear and now saw the hope for a new future where she and JK together would build a family for their child. The final month of the pregnancy had begun. The atmosphere in the mansion had dramatically shifted over the past weeks. The fear and tension were almost entirely gone. YN and JK now lived like a genuine, loving couple, although their relationship still contained JK's deep authority and YN's respect and gratitude. The biggest change was in JK. He was less of the mafia boss and more of an anxious father. His entire focus was fixed on YN's health, her cravings, and the preparations for the baby's arrival. His ruthless eyes were now constantly glued to YN, ensuring her every comfort. He started leaving meetings early and returned home early every evening. At dinner, he constantly and affectionately insisted on feeding YN and forcing her to drink extra soup, which often made YN and her parents laugh. The nursery was set up in the largest and most secure wing of the mansion. JK had not entrusted the decoration to a designer. He was doing it himself. One afternoon, YN stood at the doorway watching JK. JK, who had only ever handled guns and steel his entire life, was now on his knees, applying light blue and cream wallpaper. In his strong hands, he held a small teddy bear, constantly searching for the perfect spot to hang it on the wall. YN smiled. JK, why are you doing all this yourself? You could have hired anyone. JK wiped the sweat from his brow and turned, smiling. This is my heir's room, YN. I don't want anyone else's energy in it. I want my effort and my love in it. He brought the teddy bear to YN. Look here. This was my first friend when I was a child. I want it to be our child's first friend. He slowly bent down and placed the teddy bear on YN's swollen belly. Talking to the baby had become a daily routine for JK. It was a hilarious sight for any gangster boss. Every night as they were going to sleep, JK always talked to YN's belly. Listen, my child, JK would whisper, resting his head on YN's stomach. You are very lucky. Your mother is a little stubborn, but she is the most beautiful woman in the world. When you come out, you must protect your mother. And yes, there's a lot of work waiting outside. Your mother and I are preparing the Jeon Empire. You must come out soon and strong to take over. He often looked at YN and laughed. YN found it all amusing, yet deeply moving. JK's warm breath and soft words on her belly were forging a bond that YN could no longer deny. One Saturday afternoon, JK was painting the nursery, and YN was comfortably seated in a chair, watching him. JK had taken off his expensive watch, and his hands and face were smudged with white paint. Suddenly, the door burst open, and the BTS members, RM, Jin, Sugar, J-Hope, and Jimin, poured in. They knew JK usually spent his afternoons there. All of them, seeing JK covered in white paint, erupted in loud laughter. Jin shouting, "Oh my god, look who it is, the great Jeon Jungkook. What is this look, boss? Did you ever think you'd be painting walls with your own hands?" RM, joking, "This is the real mafia work, from cleaning guns to cleaning cribs. I guess Daddy JK's new codename is the Painter." Sugar, calm but deadly sarcastic. "We all thought some major enemy had wounded you, but you're here hanging teddy bears. JK, you've lowered your status." J-Hope, laughing, looking at YN. Sister-in-law, you are amazing. We thought this man was an Iron Man for so many years, but an incoming baby melted him. I think all this paint is a power move. Jimin, the veteran father. YN, no jokes. Let him do it. This is called the nest-building instinct. The poor guy is building a nest for his children. YN listened to their comments and blushed fiercely. Shama jati bahut. JK, whom no one could shame in the world, was now being embarrassed by his friends over paint and teddy bears. She covered her face with her hands, but she was also laughing. JK glared at his friends, but a big, happy smile was spread across his face. He looked at YN, who was blushing, and put down his paintbrush, laughing. If you guys want me and my wife to be happy, JK threatened, but his voice lacked any real bite. Get out now. And yes, I will paint, and you guys start collecting money for the baby diapers. Jin looked at YN and said, YN, watch out. This man will now take all his frustration out on the diaper fund. When they finally left, YN got up and walked over to JK. She wiped the paint from his cheek with her hand. Why were you blushing? YN asked softly. They were all right. JK took YN's hands and pressed them to his lips. Perhaps, he whispered. I'm embarrassed by all the things I did before. But I'm not ashamed that I'm hanging a teddy bear for my child, or that I love you so much. He pulled YN close. His mafia heart had now melted into the tender heart of a father. We can't go out now, JK said, because it's too risky. Just a few more weeks, Jagia. Just a few more weeks. YN rested her head on his chest, ignoring his paint-stained t-shirt. She knew she was safe. The heart of her protector had become the heart of the most loving father. It was a quiet evening in the mansion, just 2 weeks before YN's official due date. JK and YN were relaxing in the master suite. JK was reading a massive parenting manual, looking utterly ridiculous with his strict boss persona, trying to digest chapters on swaddling, while YN was lying down, watching television. Suddenly, YN gasped, a sharp, guttural sound that sliced through the domestic calm. YN, what is it? JK dropped the heavy manual with a thud and rushed to her side. His heart immediately started hammering against his ribs. The memory of the doctor's warning about complications, the fragility of her condition, and the image of his tiny child on the ultrasound screen flashed through his mind. YN's face was contorted in pain. She clutched her swollen abdomen, gripping the sheets tightly. JK, I think something is wrong. Another wave of pain hit her, stronger this time, and she cried out. JK went into immediate total panic. The controlling, powerful mafia boss completely disintegrated. His absolute grip on every situation vanished. He was shaking, utterly terrified. Pain? Where is the pain, YN? Is it the baby? Is it the complications? I should have never let you walk today. What is wrong? I'm calling the doctor. I'm calling the emergency team. JK scrambled for his phone, his hands fumbling wildly. He couldn't think clearly. He couldn't issue an order. He could only react with fear. He dialed RM, the first person he could think of, but his trembling fingers hit the speed dial for the last person he had spoken to, Jimin. The phone connected, and Jimin answered immediately. JK, what is it? You sound terrible. Jimin's voice came through, concerned. Jimin, something is wrong. JK's voice was broken, bordering on hysterics. He was holding YN, trying to comfort her while simultaneously trying to explain the terror. YN, she's screaming. She's holding her stomach. It's too early. I don't know what to do. I think she's bleeding, Jimin. I don't know what's happening to her. The doctor said complications. Wait, JK. Slow down, Jimin commanded, his voice sharp and steady, cutting through JK's panic. Jimin had been through this just weeks ago. He was the expert here. What is the pain like? Is it constant or does it come and go? Is it a sharp pain or a cramping wave-like pain? Jimin demanded. JK held the phone to YN's ear. Tell him, YN. Tell him what you feel. YN, through a muffled sob, managed to say, It comes and goes. It's like cramping, but very strong. Jimin heard the description and instantly understood. A huge wave of relief, mixed with amusement at the boss's total breakdown, washed over him. Jimin, JK, listen to me. YIN is fine. There is nothing wrong with her. This is not a complication. You fool, this is labor pain. The baby is coming. Congratulations, Daddy JK. Our baby is arriving early. JK stared at the phone, his mind struggling to process the information. Labor pain? Labor? Now? But the date? Jimin, babies don't check calendars, boss. Get control of yourself. Stop panicking, you're scaring her. You need to get her to the hospital now. The private wing you arranged. Go, go, go! Jimin's sharp, authoritative voice finally snapped JK out of his panic. The realization that this was not a disaster, but the actual beginning of his child's life, flooded him. JK hung up the phone. He looked at YN, his eyes still wide with unshed tears, but now mixed with a terrifying, raw vulnerability. Labor. The baby is coming, he whispered to himself, then immediately scooped YN into his arms. He carried her carefully, but quickly, through the mansion. His guards immediately recognized the gravity of the situation and rushed ahead to clear the path. As they reached the car, YN was hit by another severe contraction, and she cried out, her head falling against JK's shoulder. Seeing her suffering, JK's composure shattered again. He lowered his head, pressing his cheek against hers, the boss facade completely gone. He was crying, his tears wetting her hair. I can't lose you, YN, he choked out, his voice a desperate, miserable plea. I can't. I didn't know I could feel this way. When you cried out, I lost everything. I lost my control, my power, everything. I thought I was going to lose you because of my own stupid mistakes, because of the stress I put you through. He pulled her close, his fear overwhelming his pride. I know I started this wrong, he confessed, tears streaming down his face. I know I forced you to be here. I know you deserve better. But please don't leave me. I don't care about the empire. I don't care about the heir if I don't have you. I won't survive losing you, YN. Please, stay with me. YN, despite the agonizing pain, heard the raw, desperate sincerity in his voice. This wasn't the mafia boss begging for his heir. This was the terrified man begging for his wife. His confession that he valued her over his empire was the most profoundly honest and loving thing he had ever said. She reached up a hand, weak from the pain, and gently touched his cheek, wiping a tear. I won't leave you, JK. YN whispered through gritted teeth, offering him the strength he lacked in that moment. I promise. Just take me to the hospital. We have a baby to deliver. JK pulled himself together, driven by YN's faint reassurance. He placed her gently in the back seat and strapped himself in. He was driving himself, needing the speed and the control over the vehicle, even if he had no control over the situation. He called his security chief, his voice now regaining its authority, though shaky. Activate code air arrival. Clear the roads to the hospital. Get the entire VIP maternity wing ready now. And tell the doctor, if anything goes wrong, they answer to me. As the car sped through the night, the world around them was chaos. Sirens, flashing lights, cleared roads. But in the back seat, YN was focused on the pain, and JK was focused entirely on her. His dominant hand reaching back to hold hers, clinging to the only person who mattered more than his empire. The terrified husband and the brave mother were racing towards the most important and terrifying moment of their lives.